power is concentrated in such a small number of people's hands, wealth and power and weapons, the sense of the possibility of turning a tide feels more remote to me now than any point in history, and that feels terrifying to me. Because then you don't know, like, I don't know what to say. Do you say resist when it's like, when you feel like, wait a minute, they could all be obliterated? That's literally how I feel. Mm. And I don't know, and I didn't feel like that 20 years ago. Does that make sense?
No, it does. It does. Is that despair?
I don't think it's...
That's not despair. It's just terrifying.
Despair. It is... It's confusion.
Well, I know that feeling, yeah.
Right, because I don't know what we do. Like, you know, it's always, and obviously every time you have a strategy, you're like, I don't know if this is going to work. We can try, but I mean, do you share any of that feeling, or is it?
No, absolutely. It's not a fear that, it's not a fear that I don't know what to offer.
Okay.
Or what to give, right? That's not really. That's not your, yeah. It's my fear is I don't know if it matters. Mm. You know, the cumulative effect of it all. You know, I mean, Baldwin was very clear that we don't have the luxury of despair. So even when cancer is eating him up, he says you can only go to Texas so many times. You feel like a broken motor, saying the same thing over and over and over again. And these folk are still gonna be white folk, on a certain level, and you see it, and we're living in it. We're living in it, and against the backdrop of cascading betrayals, and our children and their children are growing up in it. And they're growing up against the backdrop of a world of a planet that is screaming. They're growing up, they're seeing genocide daily.
Yeah. So
you get to your study, you do the solitary work that the writing requires of you. You get there, you sit down, and you wonder, well, does this matter?
Right.
Does this matter? And so then you have to find a different kind of motivation for the writing. We always tell each other, right? Tell each other all the time when we get in our moments when the bribe is beating us down. Like, yeah. We're not writing for this moment. We're just writing for generations, right? And so you have to find a different kind of motivation, it seems to me.
Yeah.
Right? Because you keep trying to give an account.
Right.
I keep trying to give an account. I keep trying to give an account of these people.
Right.
I keep trying to give an account of us in relation to these people. I keep trying to give an account of democracy and why it matters, why we should be committed to it. I keep trying to give an account, and they keep being who they are.
But you still believe in democracy.
Have to.
You feel like is it a choice or an article of faith?
It's
Do you see what I'm saying? Is it an investment, or is it something that you just think this is?
I choose it as an article of faith.
Okay.
Right? It's where I turn my spade. I have this fundamental belief, and it has something to do with, Ruby Wilson and Russell Wilson and Herman Glaude and Bernice Glaude and my family. It has something to do with ordinary people having the capacity to have a say in how they live their lives.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? That we're not just, to use Emerson's language, just simply sacks and stomachs. Mm-hmm. That we don't need to be moved about by others. Right? And so we have the capacity, the wherewithal to build a life that is good. And and I think democracy as a form of social arrangement, governmental arrangement, right, is the best system we have so far.
Does it exist? Is it breathing? And if so, where do you see it? Do you know what I mean? Like, because there are some people who are like, believe in it, but don't believe that we've achieved it ever. Some people believe we achieve it in ways that are fleeting.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, that question can be asked in a number of different venues, right? Just like, where do you see the Christian? Where is it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where's the Christian?
Yeah. I think it's very similar.
Right. Where is the communist? We've never seen communism before. That's the way in which people, apologize for Stalin. That wasn't communism, right? Right.
Yes, I grew up with that.
Right. So I think, as flawed as American democracy is, right? As flawed as it is.
It is.
It is.
Okay.
Right. And so part of what I've been trying to do is to stand in a tradition in which black folk have thought about its meaning, right, from within it, not within America as such, but within the precepts and the values and commitments that democracy commends.
So this is correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what it means to be, for you to be a pragmatist, right? It is the conditions being what they are.
Right.
How do we function democratically?
And this is something you said earlier, right? And when you said it, it just reminded me that you're an artist, that you're a novelist, that you're a writer at the heart, right? That part of the way in which we think about democracy, we have to think about it close to the ground.
Yeah.
Right. Not up here. Not in an abstraction.
Yeah.
John Dewey says democracy is a way of life. It's not just simply processes and procedures, right? It's a way of life which affirms the dignity and standing of everyday ordinary people, right? Who have the ability, the capability, the means, if we so choose, right, to build a life in which everyone not only could dream dreams, but can make those dreams a reality. That's what Dewey meant by effective freedom.
Yeah.
So for me, when I get into this, when I'm in the study, what I'm most afraid of in this moment, right, is that this is a wrap. To put it in crude terms, the biggest challenge for me, and it's not the fad that it is, right? It's the challenge that has always faced us, I think, since we stepped on these shores, since we were brought here. And that is the challenge of pessimism, the challenge of what Du Bois called it, the temptation, not of despair, but doubt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? Remember, temptation of hate is the adolescent temptation. Temptation of despair, but doubt. Am I throwing pearls before swine? It's the Crummel's judgment of black folk. Right? Have we and this is not me judging us, but is the situation such
that we should just
and then the bribe is sitting on the shoulder. So how do you intervene in that? How do you muster the will, the insight, the power to face those headwinds, right? To speak to it, to speak in it. That's my fear.